legend Kobe Bryant died tragically Sunday in a helicopter crash in Calabasas, California. He was just 41 years old. Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter Gianna were among 9 people perished in that accident, according to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. There were no survivors. Bryant is survived by his wife Vanessa and 3 daughters.
Unbelievable. And Kobe, of course, spent his entire 20-season career with the LA Lakers. He won 5 NBA championships and 2 Olympic gold medals. He was named to 18 NBA All-Star teams and was named League MVP in 2008. Joining us now to talk about Bryant's legacy and impact is host of the Touré Show podcast, Touré, good friend of mine. Great to see you, sir.
I see you.
You know, for me, I was not a Lakers fan, so Kobe was always the guy that drove me crazy. Why does this guy have to be so relentlessly good? Just talk a little bit about his impact on the sport.
I mean, I felt the same way. I grew up a Celtics fan, and then as an adult, I became a LeBron fan, so I was constantly rooting against Kobe, but you couldn't help but respect him, the approach to the game, the way he worked hard, the way that he seemed to raise his level during pressure moments, the way he raised his level toward the end of quarters, like the end of the second quarter, end of the third quarter. A lot of players start to slack off a little bit, and he would raise up. So suddenly a 3-point lead became a 7-point lead for the Lakers, or, a 4-point deficit became 1 because he just raised his level. He clearly thought that he was better than everybody else on the court, but he almost always was better than everybody else on the court.
Right.
And, I remember him talking on the Knuckleheads podcast about how Michael Jordan would not share his secrets with most players, but he would with Kobe because 1, he asked, and 2, Jordan could see Kobe was about that life, that he was serious and dedicated. Kobe talked about early on, he joins the NBA when he's about 17. He could not legally go to the clubs and bars that the other players were going to. So he developed a habit of working out 3 times a day because he had the extra time to himself, where everybody else was working out twice a day. And over the years, it really made a huge difference.
Yeah, and I know that he was also very close with his daughter, who, and there was actually a clip, I think, that went viral just a week ago of him explaining part of the game to his daughter. He was very passionate about her, burgeoning basketball career, and they were actually on a way to a school game. And I think one of the coaches of that team even perished in this helicopter accident. I guess just talk about him as a kind of outside, off the court, not off the field, as something that we heard earlier this week.
Well, yeah, the footage of him talking to his daughter courtside is really powerful. But for me, even more so, there's this footage of them in the house playing basketball, and he starts by giving her the ball and then getting up basically nose to nose with her, and she shoves him off with her shoulder, as you should, and then steps back and makes a beautiful shot with perfect form. And it's just he had taught her how to play basketball so well, and she'd absorbed it so well, and so many people thought here's somebody who's going to go on to dominate in the WNBA and carry that Bryant legacy forward in that way. And for all that you felt about Kobe rooting against him when he had the jersey on, his post-NBA career was starting off in a really beautiful way, where he seemed to be approaching it with all this vigor, trying to write, trying to produce, create movies, mentor, young people, elite people. And so it was wow, he's settling into this sort of mature older statesman role in a really interesting way that was okay, whatever you felt about him before, look at him now. This guy seems very cool now. And,
right.
You couldn't help but think wow, just what an amazing loss for the basketball world, for the whole world, of somebody who's, becoming really mature and really cool. And, I cannot imagine what his wife is going through, having lost her husband and her baby, and then she's got 3 more babies to care about, 3 more children to care about, one of them 6 months old. It's unimagineable.
You just think about that. I mean, the 6-month-old won't even remember her father. It's just awful to think about. And Touré, when I think about Kobe on the court, I can't separate Kobe and Shaq. They were such a dynamic duo. What's been the reaction from Shaq, from other teammates, from other people from the basketball world?
Well, I mean, a lot of people thought they might cancel the games yesterday, and perhaps they should have, because a lot of players were mentored by Kobe or looked up to Kobe, so they were openly crying or unable to play. Of course, there was 24-second violations that a lot of teams were trading at the beginning of games just to kind of suggest there is something bigger than all of this going on. Shaq had a beautiful tweet calling Gianna his niece and missing his brother. Michael Jordan had a beautiful statement talking about, his little brother being gone in Kobe, and it's just been an outpouring from the basketball world, also from the tennis world, also from the soccer world. Neymar had a tribute to him. Djokovic out here, Novak Djokovic out here talking about, like, I just talked to him 2 days ago. He was a mentor to me when I was injured and telling me, and we'd seen him a lot he was at the U.S. Open and sat in the announcer's box and commentated one of the matches for a couple of games, which was really interesting. He was just an athlete in general who loved sports, and the tenacity of this guy, just throughout his life athletically was extraordinary. Talk about this Mamba mentality, and it's bigger than just him having this sort of killer instinct. It sort of pervades so much, and he said it was in his daughter as well, and to see pictures of her wearing the jersey that says Mamba across the front, it's like,
right.
Yeah,
it's painful. It's painful that just she only had 13 years. He only had 41, which is short, but she only had 13, which is just really hard to think of.
Your heart breaks for the family and the families of the others who were lost in the crash. And it just, on a human level, this is someone who you just expect is going to be around. You take it for granted that this kind of icon of American sport, we're going to get to be able to watch him grow old, and life cut far too short. Touré, always great to have you on these topics. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we'll have more Rising for you after this.